For WeCamgirls.com, this is Vanessa Eve from the Streamate Network, and these are my top 5 common cam girl questions answered. So keep watching. My name is Vanessa Eve from the Streamate Network. I head up the talent recruiting division for Streamate, where my focus is on recruiting new models, particularly from the North American sector. So my main role at Streamate is to assist models one-on-one with getting started on the site, answering their questions before, during, and after registration, and also model education as far as how our platform works. I've been working with Streamate for officially a decade now, and as you might imagine, I've received a number of questions over the years. These are the top 5 common questions that I'm asked weekly, if not almost daily. So the first common question that I am asked is, do I need to show my face? Usually this question is asked from models who have a concern for privacy. Understandably, not every single person is going to be out about what they do online. So by not showing their face, the idea is that they will have some sort of anonymity there, and this will also protect their identity. So I can definitely see why people would want to conceal their face by use of masks or by strategically angling the camera, like from the neck down only. This kind of strategy can really handicap your live webcam shows. Of course, it's completely up to you whether you decide to do it or not, but because if you think about it from a viewer's standpoint, they want to see your reactions, they want to see your facial features, your sexy faces that you make whenever you are performing or whenever they're just talking to you and you're interacting in like a free area. So by not showing your face or wearing a mask or something like that, it really can impact your cam shows in a negative way. Some viewers might be into that whole anonymous thing, but I feel like for most viewers in general, they would prefer to see what you look like and see your face. So there are a few solutions here that you can try. One of them is to maybe not show your face if you're in a free area, but only show your face if you're in a private area. So if you're in free chat, this could kind of be like a selling point as well, that you will show your face if someone takes you into like a private session. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is ask the site that you are working on if they offer any sort of geographic restrictions or geographic blocking features. Essentially what this does is it prevents any viewers from within any of your geographically restricted areas from viewing your profile or pulling it up in a site-wide search. But you might want to double check with whatever cam site that you're looking at. So again, it's a completely personal decision. It's a decision that I understand why people would want to do it, but realistically speaking, it will not make for the best live webcam experience because most viewers want to feel like they can connect with the person on the other side of the camera, and that's really, really hard if you're not showing your face at all. Anytime you go into any kind of adult work that is on the internet, then there is a very high possibility, if not probability, that someone in your life, whether they're friends or a student from your school, your college, or something like that, there's a good chance that someone is going to spot you at some point or another. So coming into this line of work, that's something that you should always be cognizant about, because that is a possibility, and it's a reality for a lot of people as well. So the next question that I receive is, what is your payout percentage? Everyone just wants to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out what the bottom line is. I think the biggest thing that I want to debunk here is that how much you earn is going to be based on your payout percentage. This is not true. So how much you earn will actually be determined by the amount of traffic and paying traffic. So say for instance you have one cam site here that is willing to pay out 70%, and it's like 70%, oh my gosh, that's great, right? And you have another campsite B over here, that is willing to pay out 50%. So most people's minds, it's like, oh, well, duh, 70%, that's like the higher number. So of course I'm going to earn more because of my payout. If you are on campsite A with the great 70% payout, and you have no one coming into your room, or maybe you do have a few people coming into your room, you have a few viewers, but no one is actually buying anything, that 70% doesn't really mean that much, as opposed to if you're getting paid out 50% and you have crazy traffic coming through your room, and you actually have people tipping or spending money and buying shows, then that 50% has a way higher earning potential than the 70%. So I'd say don't really rush to any conclusions based on payout percentage, because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the amount of paying traffic. A good way to find out whether or not a cam company or a cam site that you are looking into has great paying traffic is really just to go online, go to places like WeCamgirls, and find out real feedback from other models. Okay, so question 3 is more of a hypothetical question that I wish were asked a lot more. Not many people, when they're coming into this industry for the very first time, are aware that this is even a thing. And the question is, am I signed up through a studio or am I signed up independently? So the difference between signing up through a studio and signing up independently is that if you're signing up with a studio, then you are signing up with a third-party affiliate. So you have a cam company, and then you have sometimes what are known as third-party affiliate studios. So the studios will recruit models to perform on that platform. I will get into more info about studios momentarily, but on the other side, you have independent models. So independent models are models who sign up directly with the cam company, and there is no third-party involvement. Okay, so let's go over the difference between signing up through a studio and signing up independently. First of all, there are 2 different types of studios. The first type of studio is known as a physical studio. The second type of studio is known as a virtual studio. So a brick and mortar physical studio is very commonly seen in certain areas like in Europe, or in places like South America. Studios are kind of the standard go-to for most cam models. Whereas in the US, it's not so much of a common occurrence, but there are studios that do exist in the US. Typically, a physical studio will usually provide some sort of a space for their cam models to work out of. So say for instance, if you live in an apartment or you live at home with your mom still or something like that, and it's not really a conducive environment to be camming from, then you can go to this other physical location and utilize their facility to cam. So they'll usually provide you with a space to cam, they'll usually provide you with a high-speed internet, they'll provide you with some sort of a staged room, as well as the equipment that you need. A lot of models get that one-on-one assistance, they get that one-on-one training. On top of that, studios can provide, troubleshooting if you need help. There's a direct point of contact for you to get in touch with. You have someone that's there to kind of walk you through everything. Some studios even manage payment for their models, so they'll be paying you directly. So that's a good thing about a physical studio. So that's not to say that that is the standard for all studios, but it is very commonly seen in places like Europe, in places like South America. You'll see a lot more of those physical studios there. In exchange for all of these services that they are providing for you, the training, the facilities, the equipment, all of that, so you will exchange a percentage of your earnings with that studio. So say for instance, the cam company that you're looking at pays out 50%. What will happen is if you join through a third-party studio, they might deduct a percentage of that. So say for instance, they'll take 5%, so you'll receive 45%, and the studio will retain the 5% of each paycheck. On the other hand, there are things called virtual studios. So virtual studios are actually a lot more common here in the United States. Virtual studios are third-party studio affiliates. So what they do is usually they'll set up some sort of a website, or they'll put out some sort of an advertisement. So maybe on something like Craigslist, some sort of adult job posting site. And from there you can contact that virtual studio, and there's a person on the other end that will, you know, give you the training, answer the questions, sign you up for for a website or for various websites. They will do a lot of things that are similar to the physical studios, except that there is no actual physical location that you will be going to if you sign up with a virtual studio in most cases. So if you see a website and they are recruiting new models, then it's important to ask them, am I signing up directly through the site, or are you a third-party studio? A really good thing to ask studios, if you are signing up through a studio, is what websites is my profile going to appear on? Another good question to ask the studio is, what is my payout percentage? In exchange for the services that they are offering you, what is their cut and what is your cut? Another great question to ask is, how often am I paid? How am I paid? And what are the services that you provide me as a model who is signing up through your studio? So you have studios as one option to sign up for a cam site, and then on the other side there is what is known as independent models. So we see independent models a lot more commonly here in the United States. Independent models actually go to the cam platform of their choice, or platforms if there are multiple sites that they are looking into, and they will sign up directly through that website. So on Streamate, they go directly to streamatemodels.com or streamaterecruiting.com, and they will sign up for a profile directly with the site. So the biggest difference between signing up through a studio and signing up independently is that as an independent model, you will retain your full model payout. So if the cam site is paying out 50%, then you will retain that whole entire 50% payout. Another big difference is that you're pretty much on your own. You really have to be a self-starter. So those are the big things really to consider. There are completely different experiences signing up independently versus with a studio. Also, every studio is not the same. Studios are going to all be very different from each other. So it's really important to ask questions ahead of time. And if you're uncertain about whether or not you're actually signing up directly through a cam site or signing up with a third-party affiliate, then just ask the questions. Okay, so the fourth question that I am commonly asked is, how do I become a top model? So the definition of top model really is different for every single person, but I'd imagine most people consider top model as like being on page one, being at the best possible spot, so high up on the page. So I'd say if you're striving to become a top model, to really just keep a few things in mind. The first thing that you need to keep in mind is that the better your placement is on any site that you're on, the more eyes will be on your profile, the more views that you will have, which also equals a higher earning potential, because that's just that many more people that are visiting you, that are interacting with you, and possibly even spending on you. So you want to strive for the best placement possible. Now, placement will depend on your cam company, and every cam site is different in terms of how they determine placement. Find out what that is with the cam company that you are exploring, and that's a really, really great place to start if you're striving to become a top model. Second, I would say, is to maintain some sort of consistency with your schedule. The reason that this is important is because it's really easy to fall into a place of like, oh, you start camming like, you know, maybe twice a week, and then you'll go for a few weeks without camming at all, and then all of a sudden you'll jump back online again. Being a fair weather model is not really going to get you there. You're going to definitely need to be consistent and frequent in the amount that you are actually logging in and camming. So obviously not everyone can do a full-time 40-hour-a-week schedule, and that's also not ideal for a lot of people. A lot of people have jobs, other jobs, they have kids, and sometimes it's just not always realistic to expect to work longer hours. But if you can't work longer hours, that's totally fine. I would say to focus on just maintaining consistency. So if you can only cam on Tuesdays and Thursdays, then that's great. Try to shoot for camming every single Tuesday and Thursday. The reason that this is important is because if you do have people who join in on your shows, then they know that that's when they can expect you, and that's really what will help you to also build some sort of a following or a fan base. The last factor that I would say would be to go to your cam company and find out what's important to them and what they are looking for. So say for instance for Streamate, we really value a really high stream quality. We also look for consistency of time online, use of audio, and your profile rating. So those are things that we highly value, but of course this will differ based on the cam company that you are working for. But if you are a brand new model, it's very easy to feel discouraged, especially if you're looking at it in terms of like how many other people are camming around you, and like the competition, like someone's making it rain in some other model's room and you're just sitting here like nothing's going on. It can feel very discouraging, but what's important is really just to keep at it and take it one day at a time and one step at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. Any of the top models on any site, a lot of them have been working a very long time, or they've been consistent and working at it and working hard in order to get to where they are. So don't feel bad if you're starting out at square one and you're not really certain about where you stand with everything, or if you're even doing a good job, because you are. You're doing the best that you can do at that particular day, at that particular time. Just keep at it and don't give up. So question 5, the 5th most common question that I receive is, what kind of equipment should I use? So let me just preface this by saying that not everyone is going to have like the most HD, 4K cameras. Not everyone is going to have access to the best technology on the market. Most people's phones are probably fancier than the computers that they are using. You know, if you are starting from scratch, and I would just say, you know what, use what you currently have if you're not in a position to invest up. Also, if you're brand new to camming and you're just not really sure if you're committed to it or not, don't go out and buy like the best top of the line technology or internet if you're not certain that you really want to do this for the long term. So there are some pretty popular webcams that are currently on the market right now that should get you to that 720p video resolution, which is HD. I think that's kind of like the basic standard for HD at this point. The most popular webcam on the market that's been recommended to death is the Logitech C920. So you can get this online on Amazon for anywhere between like $65 and $75. Another common webcam, actually I'm going to show you here, is the Logitech C922X. So this webcam, it broadcasts in 1080p, which is a step above 720p video resolution. And the Logitech BCC950, if you want to get uber fancy, it also streams at 1080p video resolution. So it's a great option if you want to upgrade, and it currently retails for closer to $200. There's also the Logitech Brio, but it is a little bit, again, another one of those webcams that's a little bit more of an investment. But if you are a content maker on top of camming, then that might be a really good option for you. So as far as laptops go, let me just read off Streamate's current computer recommendations. But for 720p video, we recommend a 4th generation or newer quad-core i5 or i7 processor, at least 2.10 gigahertz. And for laptops, look for HQ, MQ, or QM in the model name, as well as 8 gigs of RAM. So those are our current recommendations as far as computers for the best quality stream. And as far as internet goes, we currently recommend for 720p video an upload speed of 2 megs or 2.5 megs or higher. So that's like kind of a baseline for you to go off of. Of course, every cam company is going to be different. For Streamate in particular, we do place a heavy focus on stream quality. So obviously the better your stream quality is, you know, that will also affect so many other things like your placement and essentially really your earning potential. So some common equipment that is utilized for camming is obviously a webcam, a laptop or a computer, high-speed internet, some sort of audio feature or audio source. Now, everything else is really just bells and whistles. So some sort of a cam lighting setup, as well as investing in your actual cam space. Broken drawers and like mess in the background. I just make sure that your cam area really doesn't detract the focus away from you and keep you the main point of focus in your live cam shows. So those are my top 5 common cam model questions for WeCamgirls. If you guys have any questions, then don't hesitate to reach out to me directly at vanessa@streamate.com. I can also be reached via our Streamate social media pages on Twitter at Streamate Models, as well as on Instagram at Streamate. And if you are considering joining Streamate as your new cam home, then just be sure to go to our model recruiting site at streamaterecruiting.com. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and good luck.